Guys, I went back to therapy.
Take me like the earth, you be giving birth to everything alive, baby, know your worth. I love everything about you, from your nappy curls to every single part of your body natural.
Same skin that was broken, be the same skin taking over. Things out of focus when you're in the room, they know it's you.
You're beautiful.
What is poppin'? Hello YouTube, what's going on? What's going on? It's been a while, it's been a minute. Okay, what am I doing? Alright. Hi guys, what's good? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Indigo Station by Sheifunmi, Nomia-Yusuf. That's a bit lengthy, isn't it? Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Indigo Station by Sheifunmi. That's more like it. Looks like everything I've been learning is being put to test. So, but I'm here and I am resilient and I'm here doing this video. So here a new video. Yeah. Emphasizing my H factor. Here a new video. It's been a while, so I am back. I keep saying I'm back, so I think I'm just gonna do my videos and just get it over with. So yes, but yes, I am back. You can say that because I do have a setup right in front of me that literally I think I'm gonna leave for the next couple of weeks, and the setup is done in such a way that when I get off my bed and I go about like my morning rituals, I am just supposed to come in front of this camera to record. So I don't know how that's gonna go, so but you're gonna like see a lot of videos from me. Let me not say that. Let me not say that. That is way too much commitment. So what's the topic for this video? This video I am gonna be sharing with you guys a little story time really, and updates, and I don't know, and you may know someone that needs to see this video. So if you know someone that needs to see this video, I'd like you to share with them. So, but like, subscribe, you know, do things that would make me stay motivated to wanting to get off my bed and making videos for you guys, because it's a lot of work. Like I've literally shot this video like 3 times today. So it's a lot of work and I still have to edit, so and it's good to see, you know, people respond to that and respond to what you're trying to say and blah 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 blah. Guys, I went back to therapy. I went back to therapy, guys, and yeah, so that's what we're talking about in this video. Okay, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So, but yeah, what was going on in my life that I thought I needed to go back to therapy? Alright, let me just tell you a little bit. Like, for those who don't know me, I've had experiences with mental health, and I've had to live my mental health publicly, and I've also had to, I've been vocal about mental health. So essentially, I've shared my mental health publicly with people, I guess, or people I've experienced, or I've been able to experience my mental health challenges in one way or another. And not that, you know, my mental health challenges or difficulties are like excessive or like, you know, disambiguous breakdowns or things like that. No, it's actually in the little things for me. So but the good thing about my journey is I've always been very self-aware, and I've always known what I wanted out of life, my priorities, goals, where I want to be, where I see myself, things like that. But yeah, so I've also had, you know, the old medicated mental health treatment. You know, I've had years of being on medication and going through, you know, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, mood stabilizers, you know, sleeping pills for insomnia and things like that. So I've had those difficulties, but I've also been able to get to the point where I could tell my mental health professionals, or, you know, my GP, my psychiatrist, and people that were helping me at that point in time, to let them, you know what, I need to get off this medication and move on with my life and see what my life is outside of this medication. And I was able to see other people do it, and I tried. And I did pretty good, but not without the ups and downs. I mean, I had my I would say I'll call it bad self-care. I had my good self-care and I had my bad self-care. So, but I was able to go through it on my own, and I've always been the kind of person that I've always worked on myself. But so that is a bit of like back with my mental health, dealing with anxiety, depression, and you know, other things we'll get into in other videos, so I don't want to give too much away in it. Up until, I mean, I got off medication say in about 2013, 2014, and yeah, 2014 accurately, more accurately 2014. And from there I decided, you know, I was going to take care of myself and I was going to find alternative ways of taking care of my mental health outside of medicine. And I know what the therapy system is like, and you know what it is like to go to therapy, but while I was medicated I never really took therapy seriously, because I mean, who wants to talk about all those emotional things? Really? So but yeah, so I was doing pretty good, and I had, you know, I'm one of those people that I like to sit in my pile of shit and navigate my shit by myself. Like literally just leave me there and let me figure things out myself. So I do not like other people interfering, so it was and it's also kind of like difficult for me to ask people for help. I kind of like to form independent, and I can do it all by myself and that kind of thing. And really in life you cannot do it all by yourself, realistically, even with your healing. So in the process of me, that was the same mentality and attitude I carried on to taking care of my mental health and figuring things out, while I was also helping other people with their mental health, and also running this non-profit mental health organizations and trying to create support groups, and you know, doing things advocating for mental health while mine was suffering in some ways. So up until about 2016, 2017, I was feeling completely unfulfilled. I was feeling unfulfilled, unmotivated, but I kept trying to force myself to do things. So I'll find myself, you know, on big projects, working with known names and specific people, like projects and people that, you know, you would necessarily say catapult you to the next level, but I wasn't giving it my all. I wasn't even, you know, I was in my fog, I was in a gloom, I wasn't seeing my vision clearly. I'd lost my voice completely, I'd become timid, I wasn't as confident as I used to be. I stopped being the go-getter and I started to compromise. So I'd find myself working for other people, and you know, and the kind of thing I do, because over the years I went from being in front of the cameras to behind the cameras, and that was as a result of my mental health and me kind of like losing myself and not being able to love myself the way I needed to love myself. I would find myself working on people's projects and I wasn't giving it my all, and it was almost like I was failing myself. And obviously I felt like I'd failed these people, but it was more about me failing myself and me feeling this, you know, complacent and this regret of not being accomplished. And over time I was like, okay, I think I found a way out. So 2018 up until about now, I was like, you know what, I'm going to stay out of everybody's business. I'm going to stay out of everybody's projects, because like I said, like I was trying to say, what I do involves me taking people's visions, literally putting people before myself, putting other people's projects and visions before myself. Like, you have to be committed to that. You have, for what you're doing to be productive, to be purposeful and effective, you have to be able to stay committed to other people's visions, goals and talents. So for me, I wasn't able to do that, and I wasn't necessarily feeling fulfilled in that area. So I decided to go inwards, look for my inner child and work on my inner creativity, look for all the creative things that I've abandoned, my writing, my singing, you know, the acting, everything that I know I could do skillfully and creatively. I I had to look for those things that were relating to my inner child. So I did that pretty much, and I developed a lot of skills, and I started writing screenplays, and I started sending out reading considerations to like really good people, which has been interesting and has helped me develop in lots of ways. And I started doing a lot of things, like taking production more seriously. I started creating more, I started writing more, I started singing more. I started doing a lot of things differently, but still there were still some things lacking and still some things amiss. So what that was for me wasn't necessarily insomnia anymore, or slipping into depression, or being in a funk, or having shitty moods, or generally feeling out of place. It wasn't those things anymore, because I've dealt with those things for years, and I know how to navigate myself around mental health and things like that. Having gone from someone who used to self-harm to someone who takes care of himself, like, it's been a lot of inner work and a lot of evolution. So, but what stuck out to me most was I started desiring more for myself. I started feeling like, okay, I needed to move. I needed to stop feeling stagnant. And what was missing was I was unable to see everything that I've done in the past and everything I was doing, or everything I had accomplished, and I would hear that from other people, but not being able to believe in myself, and literally go out looking for other people's validation. And I was like, okay, you know what? I think I have it all together, but I don't have it all together like that. So we need to speak to someone. And I'm this kind of person, like, I literally do not like to talk about emotions. I'm surrounded by mental health professionals, and I have friends who are psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, and literally doing their thing to change the perception of mental health in Nigeria and bring support and the support and the care and the mental health care practice for mental health in Nigeria. So and at the same time, I was also working on my creative non-profit mental health advocate project called Project Get Naked. So so it was kind of like there was an imbalance, and I was starting to compromise on my dreams and visions, and I was like, oh, maybe it's okay if I do things this way, maybe it's okay if I do not aim so high anymore, maybe it's okay if I just settle. And that is typically not my nature, and I would never ask any other person to do that, and the fact that I wasn't as confident as I know myself to be, I wasn't like the person that would be willing to kick the door open to say, okay, I have this to say, this is what I have to do, even down to the point of needing help. As much as I do not like to ask people for help, the confident me would go out of the way to know that this is necessary and this needs to be done. And I would reach out. So I just became this timid person. I just became this person that started to compromise and started to say, okay, you know what, I'm starting to look at life this way, that way, let me just settle. And I was like, no. So that didn't sit right with me. That did not sit right with me. So I started looking into therapists. And finding the right therapist was like literally a big deal for me, finding the right therapist for my mental health, because I know what the mental health system is like outside of Nigeria, but in Nigeria it was kind of like murky navigating it, because while I know I have friends that do this, but they do it from I would say private practice point of view, or structure, because there isn't necessarily a mental health structure in Nigeria for public for people with mental health. I mean, there are places you can go to, but are their services adequate? Like, can you get the actual help you need? So those things come into question. So and I couldn't reach out to any of my friends because there was also the issue of trust, me not being able to trust, and the ego was in the way. My ego was in the way. So I eventually found someone, actually through my Instagram, and I'd been watching the person for like a period of time, and it was just me trying to build that courage and confidence. So eventually when I sent out the message and reached out, I'd like to book a therapy session, how do I go about it, how do I, go about your services and whatnot, and I got the lowdown. It was like, oh yeah, great, I'm taking the step and I'm stepping into, this point of healing fully, and not the point where I go through my healing process and I stop halfway and go. So like, it felt like I was actually taking charge of my life, but at the same time I did not know that I was going to experience something else in front. So, but the good thing is, I think because the fact that I've always worked on myself, and I didn't even know how much I have always done that until when I found myself taking therapy seriously. So, so I finally got to book my first session with this therapist, and it was time for my first session. So like, I think prior to going out for the therapy, I took a nap because I was like so anxious, and it was like, oh wow, because I was calm before, and all of a sudden I just started feeling this anxiety, and I was like, okay, let me sleep and clear my head, and maybe, you know what, when my Uber ride gets here, I would be alright. So when I got in the ride, I was also still nervous until I got into the therapy session, and I exchanged words with the therapist, and I kind of had this calmness that, okay, we have to take things seriously, because I'd constructed how the session was going to go, like what am I going to say, what am I not going to say. So going into therapy was like, okay, I had to be sincere with myself, because I have to surrender. I know that. I know this way too much not to take this seriously and surrender to the process. And I have certain friends who are like strict therapists and psychologists, and they'll tell their people who are seeking their services, and they'll tell them, you know what, please, if you are not ready for your healing, or if you're not ready to take this seriously, please don't actually even bother me. And there's a reason for that. So I was calm during the first session. After the anxiety, I became calm, because I'd been in therapy before, so I knew what to expect. But I was just meeting a new person, and I was going to be vulnerable on that spot, and I was going to talk about things that were going to make me uncomfortable. But the good thing about it is it really went well. I bet you want to know what happened in the therapy session? No, that's for me to know. So if you need therapy, go get yours. So it really went well, and it was quite insightful and illuminating for me, because I got to like see myself from a different perspective, and I got to embrace myself more. And one of the things that was called for me for therapy was being able to love myself more. So, and my therapist asked what would be the he said, if a miracle were to happen, how would I know in regards to my healing and my therapy session? And it didn't click until when I was about to make this video because I had become more optimistic. I laugh a lot more, I dance a lot more, like I'm more upbeat, and I still have my moments of introversion. Mind you, I'm an introvert, but I'm not an introvert. Like, I know how to be an extrovert, I know how to get down, but I'm an introvert. Get it? Yeah. If you identify with me, say yeah. So but yeah, so I've been more upbeat, I've been more focused, I've been more decisive, I've been more decisive and assertive, you know, and I've been more sensual and emotive in a way. So yes, so I can definitely say I can feel the miracle happening. So if my therapist happens to be watching this video, know that yes, your work has been really effective. Thank you. So we shall see more. We shall have more therapy, please. So yeah, so it's been really good. But one thing, I left my first session feeling really good, but I got into my next session and I left feeling really shitty, because I had to like look into myself and do a lot of work. And that's how it goes, because you're healing, and all these things have to be talked about and have to be stripped apart, so that you can get to the root cause of whatever is making you feel the gloom, the sadness, the anxiety, the depression, the whatever you're experiencing, the PTSD, there are a lot of mental health disorders out there, man. There are a lot of mental health disorders out there. So yeah, so it's really been it's been a journey. It's been really interesting, insightful. I went in with the mindset of therapy, but what I got out of therapy was more life coach, and which was definitely what was said to suit me, because I guess I'd been working on myself. I really felt good about that one, because I don't know, I really felt good about that one because it made me appreciate myself more. I'm now more in a state of gratitude. I used to be in a state of gratitude. I tried to be in a state of gratitude, but I think now it flows effortlessly. So yeah, so therapy has been really helpful, and finding the right therapist for me was really key, because like I said, I didn't want anyone with religious sentiments, and I wanted to talk about things that, you know, weren't necessarily, I guess, comfortable talking about, and I did not want to be met with prejudice. So and I've met certain therapists here, but older therapists that I guess I would say they're good to certain people that find their services useful, but they were not useful to me, because like I said, there were certain things that I was looking for in my therapist but I couldn't find. So, and if you're trying to help me heal and you're already meeting me with some sort of prejudice, or, you know, instead of talking things through, you're already giving me alternatives and things like that, religious wise, I kind of look at you with the side eye and question your degree and your certification. Yeah. So I'm glad I found the right therapist, and I was able to find one that was affordable for me. And yes, quite a lot of therapists out here in Lagos are quite pricey. Quite a lot of therapists out here in Lagos are pricey, but they are affordable ones, and they're also, I think even the pricey ones understand the economic situation of the country or of the people in general, so they are also willing to work with your pockets and give you certain discounts, or work with, you know, what you have set aside. But I had to dedicate, you know, some sort of money to my healing, but I also did it in such a way because I did not want to be broke afterwards. So yeah, so I had to do it that way. But yeah, therapy has been helpful, therapy has been insightful, and whatever you're going through, whatever you're experiencing, there are professional people there to help you, and they're there to help you be the best you can be, help you move closer to your goals, you know, utilize your potentials, discover yourself. So yeah, so therapy is good for you, and see a therapist today. Thank you for watching my video, and I don't know if this makes sense to you, and if this has been helpful, or this has encouraged you in some way. But don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel